Hi there. So welcome to today's broadcast, another Q&A session that I'm having with you, and this is the fourth series as we started with a Q&A session this week, and I'm very much excited to have you. Today I'm going to be sharing with you on a subject that I titled Examination Psychology, because it's very important you understand how to study for the exams, and also understand how to position yourself mentally in order to increase your chances of passing the examination. So if you're joining the broadcast, just comment below with your questions. Any questions that you're having, comment below with it. I'm going to be answering all of the questions. And remember to share the video as well with others so they can benefit, and we can together affect a lot of people as much as possible. All right, so I'm sharing today on examination psychology. This is something that is on my heart as an educator, as a lecturer, somebody who look at a lot of students and speak with a lot of students. One of the things I've come to understand, one of the things I've come to know is that every examination, there is a way you must position yourself, there is a way you must work out yourself in order to pass the exams. So that is what it's called examination psychology. There is a certain mindset you need, a certain way of life you need, a certain thinking you need to be able to really achieve what you want to achieve. To be able to achieve what you want to achieve. So that is what I want to share with you today, and I'll also be looking at some techniques from one of the worldly recognized brain experts, Jim Quick. He mentioned a couple of things about how an individual can study, how an individual can be much productive, how an individual can understand everything that he or she studies and remember that in an examination. So it's going to be very critical, it's going to be crucial, because it is something that will really, really help you. Something that will really, really help you. Alright, so like this week I've been sharing with you a number of things that you need to understand about the examination. Among other things, I've shared with you the key areas you have to focus on, how you need to discipline yourself to utilize your time, because one of the things you need to understand is that you may not have the luxury of having all the time in the world, or you may not have the luxury of really being able to have control over everything in your life. But really, if you're going to be writing the ICAG examination, then you have to put yourself in the position where you'll be able to really prepare well for the exams. Because I'm a proponent, a person of a belief that it is not just about I've registered for the exams. No, it's not about registering for the exams. It goes way beyond registering for the exams. It's not also about attending the lectures. It goes way beyond attending lectures. It's also not about the location where you write the exams. So in the course of the week, somebody was asking whether I recommend you should go outside Accra or you should be within Accra. And I was saying that it doesn't matter where you write the exams. The main focus is your ability to be able to be in the right mindset, your ability to be able to prepare adequately, and to be able to answer the questions as you are required to answer, so you can increase your chances of passing the examination, because that is the ultimate thing at the end of the day. So why am I sharing on examination psychology today? Because you see, the reason why you do everything you do, it's because of the way that you think. The Bible has said it several times that out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. And whatever that you harbors, whatever things that you brood literally on mentally, that is what you become at the end of the day. So it's very important that you understand the kind of conversation that is going on in your mind. You understand the kind of conversation that you are having with yourself, because I can tell you you are stupid. I can tell you you are crazy. I can insult you, but it is not about what I tell you. It is about what you tell yourself that will result into whether it's going to hurt you or it's not going to hurt you. So it's very important that if you are going to position yourself, you're going to pass the examination, then it will be good that you put yourself in a mental state that will enable you to be able to really pass the exams, to be able to really be on top of issues and on top of everything that you're doing. That is why I believe that the mindset is critical. The mindset is crucial, because without the mindset, without a right mindset, you're going to walk throughout life and never achieve anything. When I speak with a lot of students, especially students who have written the exams before, who have failed the exams before, and they are resitting with the exams, when I speak with them, after speaking with them, quickly I tell them, listen, this thing is not about the lecture that you attended. This thing is not about the fact that you failed. This thing is not about the fact that you didn't get a good lecturer or you didn't get the best lecturer, even though all of those things can be factors, but it's about the mindset that you have about the paper. It's about the mindset you have about the examination. Because if you think that the ICA examination is difficult, you think the ICA examination is structured to fail you, then you're not going to put in the effort. You're going to keep blaming people and not be responsible for the things that you're supposed to do. Yesterday I had somebody commenting, yes, I saw someone commenting on one of my posts on Facebook, and the person was like, Nhyira, every day you are saying that we should study, we should study, we should study. Do you see the kind of questions the ICA said? Then I said, okay, let me go ahead and read this question. Then the person was like, consolidation. If you look at the question that the ICA brought in the May 2019 consolidation, you cannot get the number of shares that were there before the acquisition, because the parent company acquired 150 million shares, but you cannot locate that 150 million shares in the company. Then I was like, are you really serious? So I just told my team to forward the questions to me where I was, so it was forwarded to me. Then I looked at it and I was like, because there was a nominal value there, okay, in the balance sheet given, Berekum or Brekusu, whatever the subsidiary company was, had an equity share of $0.25, 50 million. So if you want to get a number of shares, you need to divide the 50 million by 0.25, and that gives you 200 million shares. So it means that the number of shares of the subsidiary was $200 million, and the parent acquired $150 million. So this is something that the students couldn't realize, the students couldn't recognize. So you come out of the exams and you are like, ICA, they are not setting questions well. ICA, they are not structuring the question well. But it is not about ICA, it's about you and the kind of mindset and the kind of conclusion that you have about the examination. If you're just joining the broadcast, comments below, look at the chat box, comment below, let me know where you are watching us from, and comments below with your questions, any questions that you are having, comments below. Today I'm sharing with you, something that I've very dear to my heart, and that is examination psychology. That is how to position yourself, put yourself in the right mindset, in the right framework, so that you can prepare adequately for the exams and also ultimately pass the exams. Because it's not just about picking your books and reading, it's not just about spending 2 hours, 3 hours behind book. It is about having the right mindset behind the book, so that you can increase your chances of passing the examination. So many people accuse literally the CA from for a lot of things about the structure of the examination, and yes, to some extent we can legitimately accuse the CA Ghana on a couple of things, because yes, they are not doing much for us, but hopefully from next year we are hoping that things are going to be getting better with the introduction of the new syllabus, and especially on the study manual side for subjects such as business law, subjects such as public sector accounting and finance, subjects such as principle of taxation, subjects such as advanced taxation. There are no CA focused study manuals that students can use. There are other manuals available, but these manuals are not written to just for the CA examination. So if care is not taken when students are using such manuals, they are going to be having a lot of challenges. But nonetheless, that is where we are now. So you cannot just blame the CA much with that, because they are working hard to really solve some of those issues and deal with those issues. So I wouldn't want you to come with a mindset or come with an approach that, hey, the CA exams is difficult, because it all leads back to what I refer to as examination psychology. So the big question we ask ourselves is, okay, so what is examination psychology? All right, I guess you are asking, what is an examination psychology? When we say examination psychology, what are we talking about? If you're just joining the broadcast, make sure you comment below with your questions. Any questions that you want me to answer on anything in the exams, in the subjects, you want to just pick my brain literally on something, put it in the chat box, and remember to share the video with your colleagues as well, so we get a lot of people participating and benefiting from this live broadcast. And today I'm sharing with you examination psychology. That is the framework of mind that you need to have in order to prepare well for the exams, in order to increase the chances of ultimately passing the examination. So what is examination psychology? Now, examination psychology is described as the mindset, that is the mental or internal conversation an individual has concerning what it takes to pass an examination. Listen carefully. Examination psychology is the mental, that is the mindset, that is the internal conversation an individual has concerning what it takes to pass an exams. So what do you think it takes to pass the ICA exams? What's your take on what it means to pass the ICA exams? Do you think it's about working? Do you think it's about reading? What do you think it's your take for passing the ICA exams? Now, there are various mindsets that I have identified from students, my dealing with students for the past close to 7 years now, as I've started lecturing the CA and the ACCA program. I've come across a lot of students across from all walks of life, and I've gathered a couple of mindsets, groups of mindset that I would want to share with you. And the reason why I'm sharing some of these things with you is to make sure that if you are in any of the categories of the group mindset that I'm about to mention, I'm about to discuss, that means that you are the one causing the problems, causing the traumas, causing the difficulties, causing the challenges for your own life. So I would want you to make sure you understand carefully what I'm about to share with you, so that you can get rid of the mindset and be able to prepare well for your examination and ultimately pass the examination. So if you are just joining the broadcast, comment below on the chat box with any questions that you are having, and I will answer your questions for you. Today I'm sharing with you something that I've titled examination psychology. It is critical to work on the mindset. It is critical to work on the conversation that goes on in your mind, because what goes on in your mind ultimately is what comes out of your mouth and comes on the paper, and that will either make you or destroy you. So it is very critical to understand the conversation that goes on in your mind. So what are the various mindsets that I've come across through all the years, and what are these mindsets that I believe affect a lot of students? The first type of mindset that affects a lot of students is the Operation 50% mindset. Now, there are a group of people who believe that the exams, the pass mark is 50%. So you don't need to work hard. You just do some 1 or 2 shabu, then you'll be able to get the pass mark. No, it's a wrong mindset. It is a wrong mindset. You cannot have that 50% mindset and pass the exams. It doesn't happen that way. So if you are really going to pass this ICA examination, if you are really going to position yourself in such a way that you're going to become the best, you're going to really reduce the chances of you failing the exams, then if you are with the operation 50% mindset, you need to get rid of it. You need to get rid of operation 50% mindset, because it doesn't help, it doesn't add any value to you. So this operation 50% mindset, get rid of it. You cannot become successful, you cannot pass the examination with a mindset of operation 50%. I've seen a lot of students, and irrespective of what I tell them, irrespective of what I say to them, they'll just tell me, Nhyira, the pass mark is 50%. You don't have to work hard. I can do this 1 or 2 things, boom, I will pass the exam. They go and they fail. They go and they fail, then they come back. Then they start being a bit serious. They start being a bit conscious about what they are doing. And once they become serious, they go in for the second time and they pass the exams. So please make sure that if you are in the category of operation 50%, don't aim at 50%. Worst case scenario, aim to be the best. Aim 90%, aim 80%. You see, when you set the target high and you are falling, you will still fall within the pass mark range. So imagine you tell yourself that you want to score 90%. You see, the attitude you will approach your studies with the mindset of scoring 90% will be different from the attitude you will approach your study with if you have the mindset of scoring 50%. It's mindset. It's the conversation that goes on in your mind. It's what you tell yourself. So I don't want you to keep telling yourself that, oh, this thing is just 50 marks, darling. Baby, it is not about if you joke, you will fail the exams. Every day every semester we read the examiner's reports, and we look at the number of students who passed who sat for the exams, and you look at the number of students who passed, you look at the number of students who failed, and you look at even the marks. Sometimes the examiner makes references to that. People scored 5% in the exam hall. I mean, why? Why? So you've got to get rid of that mindset, operation 50%. You've got to get rid of it. The second type of mindset is operation focus and answering 3 questions. Operation focus or answering 3 questions. These are a group of people who think that, the pass mark is 50%. So if I focus on 3 topics, they will be there in the exam, or I will answer them, then I'll pass my exam. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't work that way. Now, what do you even think you focus on? Think it's an area that you focus on, an area that you have an expertise in, an area that you want to really work hard in. You may not be able to solve the question. So get rid of the mindset that the pass mark is 60%. So if I answer 3 questions, I'm good to go. If I focus on 3 questions and answer the 3 questions well, I'm good to go. No, you cannot pass the exams with that mindset. You need to get rid of that mindset that, it takes 3 questions to pass the exam. It doesn't take 3 questions to pass the exam. Because one of the things that the examiner has raised over the years is that students don't finish answering their questions. That's it. So why? Because many students think they can focus on 3 subjects, they can focus on 3 topics, they can focus on 3 questions, answer those 3 questions and pass. No, because what you think you've mastered, there is a question I can bring to you that you cannot even answer. So what you think you've mastered, you've not actually mastered it. It's just something like you think you've mastered it. You've not mastered it. Because there are many ways to kill a cat. You think you know consolidation. A question on consolidation can be presented to you, and for all you know, you cannot answer it, you cannot do anything. Bernard Peho, I see your question, Bernard Peho. I'll be answering your question in a moment. All right, I'll be answering your question in a moment, Bernard. If you just joined the broadcast, comment below with your questions and let me know where you are watching from, what kind of subjects you are writing, what are your changing areas, what do you want me to cover more on this channel, because from next week also we're going to be doing the live lectures. Okay, I'm going to be teaching live on Facebook, on the channel here, on YouTube. I'm going to be teaching live, so you're going to have that. I'm going to have a different setup, and I'm going to be teaching live or on YouTube to help you prepare well for the examination. So the first type of mindset that causes people to fail is Operation 50%. The second type of mindset that causes people to fail is Operation Focusing and Answering 3 questions. Then the third type of mindset is the mindset of complacency. Now, I see a lot of this, especially in students who have written the paper before. Maybe they've written FR before, they've written CR before, they've written tax before, they've written PSA before, they've written FM before. They've written it before. Now, if you write an exam, and you fail the exam, it means you don't know anything. Yeah, that's it. I know that is a hard pill to swallow, but it means you don't know anything. So if you think that, oh, because I attended lectures last semester, this semester I can do some revision on my own and sit, it doesn't work that way. Because every semester, it is a different ball game altogether. That is why every semester I issue out my examination analysis documents. Every semester. And every semester we have different examination analysis documents, because every semester the examiner has an objective. What you don't know is that every semester the examiner has an objective. Every subject, if it is corporate reporting, the examiner has an objective for November 2019. There is something you want to achieve. When you're writing financial reporting, the examiner has an objective for November 2019. There is something he is expecting from students. If you're writing management accounting, November 2019, there is something the examiner is expecting. The question is, what is the examiner expecting? That is where we come in with my examination analysis document to help you to kind of focus on key areas that the examiner is going to be bringing questions around to help you pass the exam. So if you are complacent, you are somebody that you think, oh, I know this thing, I've studied this thing before, so I can just do some shabu revision within 1 week, I can finish. Listen, my brother, listen, my sister, you will fail the exams hands down. You will fail the exams hands down. So stop lying to yourself that you don't know anything. You don't know anything. Pretend as if you've not studied it before. Pretend as if you don't know anything. Pretend as if you are a juvenile. Pretend as if you are starting all over again. Pretend as if you have never attended lectures, and attend lectures and get somebody to mentor you, somebody to teach you, somebody to assist you so you can prepare well for the examination. How many people write an exam 3 or 4 times? Is it because the lecturer is not good? No. Is it because they don't attend the good? I've seen a lot of people who are culprits of this. They're very complacent because they've written the paper before. But if you have written the paper before, I don't want you to be complacent, because you can flop. You can flop. Then another thing, I also hear people saying that we've seen first degree or first class students coming to write the ICA exams and they fail. Yes, ICA is not degree. ICA is not campus. ICA is a professional exam, and professional examination is different from an academics, what you did in the university. So you can be first class in your university, you will come and write the ICA, write an ACCA exams, and you will flop like hell. So don't do some kind of comparison. You are different. You need to start everything all over again. So if you are a victim of failure, you failed an exam before and you are resitting for the exams, don't be complacent. Don't think you know it. You don't know it. You don't know it. Because if you knew it enough, you would have passed it. You don't know it. So you better pretend, you better behave as though you don't know anything. And that is what will help you, that you will be able to pass the examination. So that is another mindset that I have in relation to that. Then the fourth mindset. So number 1 is Operation 50%. Make sure you get that out of your system if that is the mindset you have. Number 2 Operation focus on three questions. That is also not good. Number 3, complacency. That's very deadly. And number 4, Operation 1 week show. Operation 1 week show. This is where a lot of people, they wait, they will not study, they will not do anything. But 1 week to the exam, they start attending all manner of intervention classes. Listen, you can't pass the exams with one day show. It doesn't happen. So they say this lecturer is teaching 1 day, 3 hours. You go and pay money, 50 Ghana, 100 Ghana. Then you sit down 3 hours, and you can't even listen. You can't even hear what the lecturer is saying because the whole place is crowded. And you sit there 3 hours, and you think you can pass the exams with that? No. So you've got to get rid of that mindset of waiting 1 week to the exams and attending intervention class. It's not going to help you. It's not going to help you. So if you really want to pass the exams, you've got to get rid of that mindset. 1 week 1 day show, it doesn't happen. That is why my executive revision masterclass is a 2 weeks executive revision masterclass. I don't run 1 day show because you can't pass an exam. It's not 1 day. It doesn't happen that way. It's not a magic pill we are getting. Are you getting it? That's why my executive revision masterclass is a 2 weeks masterclass. And during that masterclass, you get a revision session with me, you get a one-on-one session with me, you get a mock session, you get a mock discussion session, you get access to our examination analysis document. So within that 2 weeks, I immerse you in a new environment, in a different ambience, in a different society, so that you'll be able to immerse yourself, work hard on yourself within 2 weeks, and put yourself in a better position. So please, if you have the mindset that you are going to be attending an intervention class somewhere and that will help you to pass the exams, then you are made mistaken. That is not guaranteed. That is not guaranteed. So these are the 4 types of mindset that I have come across. There are other ones, but I just came off head with these 4 just to discuss this with you. This topic is actually part of my new book coming up January 2020, and it's coming up. It's coming up next year, and I delve deeper in that in relation to that. But these are the 4 types of mindsets. Operation 50%, if you are in that bracket, get rid of it. Operation focusing on 2 or 3 questions and answering those questions and passing, it doesn't work that way. Complacency, you don't know anything. Pretend as if you don't know anything and start working hard. And then number 4, Operation 1 week show, attending all manner of intervention classes. You are just giving yourself depression. That is why you get to the exam hall and you are freaked out because your mind is not relaxed. Your mind has been consuming a lot of things from a lot of areas. You get to the exam hall and you are freaked out, like your mind is literally evaporating. Why? Because you have crushed it. But if you are working hard, like the way I was telling you yesterday, if you can put 2 hours every day and commit 2 hours every day and study 2 hours every day from now till you write the exams, I can guarantee you will pass the exams hands down. You don't need anybody intervention. You don't need an intervention from anywhere. You need to sit down and study. Sit down, practice question. But some of you want magic pill, you want shortcuts, you want the easy way out. There is no easy way out. You want somebody to tell you, yeah, this is what is coming. It's never going to happen. You've got to be immersed in an environment. You've got to be immersed in a system. You've got to be immersed in a group of people so that it's a process. It's a process. It's not a 1 day show. You sit down, listen to somebody, he tells you something, then you will pass the exams. It doesn't happen that way. So these are the mindset that I believe are what's scaling a lot of students. All right. Now, if you're just joining the broadcast, I'm talking about examination psychology. And comments below with your question in the chat box. Any questions you are having. Now, from next week, I'm starting to teach live on Facebook. I don't know why I'm mentioning Facebook like that. I've been teaching on Facebook. I've not really been teaching on YouTube. So from next week, I'll be teaching live on YouTube. So you comment below with the questions that you have, maybe some things that you want me to cover during the live sessions, some questions that you want me to answer, some questions that you want me to solve in relation to that. So let me answer some of the questions that I have in the chat box. If you're just joining the broadcast, comment below with your questions. So Bernard Peho, forgive me if I'm not able to mention your name the way you expect it to be mentioned. Just forgive me about that. So Bernard Peho, I will try to mention it the way it has to be mentioned. Bernard Peho, please help me out on the following: calculating tax charge for the year, standard on leasing, events after reporting period, borrowing costs, cash flow statements. I'm writing FR. Okay, Bernard, your question is a bit broad. Number one, calculating tax for the year, IAS 12. So make sure you go to my channel, watch the video on IAS 12. I have a great video there on income tax. It is going to help you. So watch that, go and watch that lecture video. From next week, I'll be solving some questions around accounting standards that will help you. Standard on leasing, that is IFRS 16. Now, IFRS 16, I've also released some videos on that, IFRS 16, on my channel. So you can check out that on the channel as well and look at it. The reason why I'm referring you to the channel is that each of these is a standard, and you are not answering you are not asking a specific question under the standard. You are just saying I should help you out with these standards, and I've already covered these standards in detail in a video on my channel, so you can watch those videos and it will help you. Events after the reporting period, that is IAS 10. Events after the reporting period, I think we also have some videos under that. And then borrowing costs, IAS 23, also we have some videos on that as well on the channel. You can watch that. Cash flow statement, definitely I have a lot of questions on cash flow statement on the channel, so look at that and watch those videos. What I would ask is that maybe you can tell me the specific issue about a standard. So if it is a borrowing cost, is it about the treatment of the finance cost? Is it about dealing with capitalization period and non-capitalization period? If it is about events after the reporting period, is it about dealing with adjusting or non-adjusting event? Do you want me to talk about some examples of adjusting events? What is it really? Because I cannot teach all of these today, certainly. That is why I'm referring you to my video. If it's about cash flow statement, what is it you want to know about cash flow? Is it about how to compute income tax paid for the year, interest paid for the year, dividend paid for the year, that? So is it about the operating activities? Is it about investing activity? Bernard, okay, Bernard, you retracted your message. I think you can type again. I read it, but you retracted it, so you can type again about that. So that is what I have to say, Bernard. Maybe give me specific questions under these standards and I can answer you. If not, then you can watch the full lecture on my YouTube channel, and that will help you to understand. Then Abena Achampoma, forgive me if I don't mention your name right, okay? Abena Achampoma, can you go over ethics topics in FR? The ethics in FR is the same as the ethics in any other topic, in any other subject, in any other subject. We're talking about fundamental principles for accountants, so objectivity, okay, integrity, confidentiality, professional competence and due care, professional behavior. So these are the fundamental principles, and all boils down to independence, okay? Independence of the accountant. And then you have to look at the threats to the professional ethics, self-review threats, what else? Self-review threats, self-interest threats, advocacy threats, okay, intimidation threats, all of these things, and there are safeguards, okay. So the way ethics, the topic ethics is in strategic case study, the way it is in management accounting, the way it is in other subjects, that is the same thing here. So you have to understand the fundamental principles, and then this is how the question may be, not is going to be, but maybe. the examiner can give you a scenario, then he will ask you in the scenario, what appropriate action do you think that the accountant must take? For instance, maybe you are the auditor of a company, or you are the auditor of a company. Then when you visited the company, the board of directors call you at a meeting, then they presented you with a gift, and the gift is valued at, say, 100. Hi there. And the gift is valued at, say, $100,000. Now, if the gift is valued at $100,000, that is a huge gift. So that kind of gift can affect your integrity. It can affect your objectivity. Okay, it means you're going to be biased in making judgment. You're going to be having a lot of conflict of interest. So that is the issue in relation to ethics topics in FR. Issue in relation to ethics topics in FR. So Abena Achampoma, that is what I have to say for you. If you're just joining the broadcast, I'm doing a Q&A session, answering questions that people are having. I just finished answering a question from Bernard Beho, and then also Abena Achampoma. So you can comment below with your questions, and I'll answer all your questions for you. But prior to that, I was sharing about examination psychology, and I've shared about 4 mindsets that causes people to fail the exams. Number 1 is operation 50%, thinking that the pass mark is 50%, so with a small work you can pass the exams. If you study with that mindset, you are going to fail hands down. Number 2, operation focusing and answering 3 questions. If you focus on that mindset, your chances of passing the exams is very slim, because you are setting yourself up for failure. Number 3, complacency. This is what I see a lot of people who are writing the exams before experiencing. They think, oh, they've written the exams before, so they know everything. But you don't know anything, okay? You don't know anything. You've got to pretend as though you've not seen this before, you've not heard it before, and delve deeper into it and understand well what you're doing. And then the last one is Operation 1 Week Show, where people wait, they don't study, they don't do anything, then 1 week to the exams, they start being serious. If you are doing that, you are really putting a lot of migraine, a lot of depression, a lot of freaking out moments on yourself in the exam hall. But I said this, that, and as I said yesterday, if you can commit 2 hours every single day on your exams, 2 hours every single day in practicing something and solving a question, then you can increase your chances of certainly passing the examination. So that is what I think you need to do in relation to that. But one of the key things you need to understand is, how do you study and understand everything? This is very important, so make sure you listen to this carefully. How do you study and understand what you are studying? How do you study and be able to recollect well everything that you study? One of the questions that I've had a lot of people asking me is, Nhyira, when I study, I forget. I will open the book, I'll be behind the book for 2 hours. By the time I finish, I can't remember anything. Nhyira, how can I study and remember? I want to share a secret with you, something that has helped me over the years, and something that I know it will help you. I've already shared it in a video on the channel, and the video is available. But I want to share it with you here. How to learn and remember everything that you learn. If not everything, about 95%. How about being able to remember 95% of everything you learn? That will mean you are a mastery, okay? And I can guarantee you, what I'm about to share with you, if you practice it, if you follow it, you can study and recollect at most 90% of everything that you have studied. Now, the technique I'm about to share with you is actually from Jim Kwik. Now, in case you don't know Jim Kwik is a world-recognized brain expert, somebody who understands how the brain work, and how people can really use the shortest possible time and get the best result out of everything that they are looking for, how people can read book within the shortest possible time and recollect everything that they have read, how people can within the shortest possible time they will be able to study what they need to study and retain everything that they have studied. You can just search for him on YouTube, Jim Kwik, and his channel comes up. He is a great person that has a lot to share. Now, according to Jim Kwik, this is one of the basic tactics, basic strategies that you can use in order to increase your chances of understanding what you are learning, and then number two, recollecting what you are learning. Because many of you can read, but once you close the book, everything you've read is gone. It is not any demon following you anywhere. That is another topic for another day. But you need to be able to work on your mind. So Jim Quick talks about a technique that he calls FAST. For you to learn very well, there is a technique called FAST. So I want you to do this. Make sure you take notes, okay? Take notes. So grab a pen and paper and start taking notes. So I want you to write FAST. That is FAST. If you want to study and remember everything you have studied, this technique is going to help you. So write FAST. F-A-S-T. FAST. F-A-S-T. FAST. Now, each of these letters stand for something. So number one is the F. What does the F stand for? F simply means forget. What do you mean, Nhyira? Forget? Yes, forget. Forget simply means anytime you are studying something, anytime you are approaching a topic, anytime you are approaching a subject, forget about everything you've studied about it. Forget about anything you know about it. This is where complacency sets in. So the first strategy is forget. Pretend as though this is the first time you are hearing it. Because you see, this is how your mind works. If you are listening to somebody speaking, or you are listening to somebody talking, or you are reading a book, and you already have a preconceived understanding of the book, you tell yourself, oh, I understand this thing already, you close your mind. And your mind is no more active to assimilate anything again. So the first way for you to study, for you to understand, for you to be able to recollect everything you've studied is to first forget everything you know about the subject. That is a great technique. You need to forget about it. Forget everything you know about the subject. So let's say you are listening to me right now, and I'm teaching something on IAS 10, or I'm teaching something on ethics, and you know it already. If you want to really learn, clear off everything that you know and pretend as though you don't know, and just sit quiet. There are places I go, meetings I go, people that I hear, what they are talking about, I know it already, but I just keep quiet, I grab my pen and paper, and I'm taking notes as though I've not heard it before. When you learn with that attitude, when you learn with that mindset, when you learn with that behavior, it opens your mind up. And once your mind opens up, it will be able to assimilate, because your mind will say that, oh, this guy doesn't know this thing. It means this thing he is receiving is important. And once your mind reaches that realm, it can accept everything and rearrange it in the necessary folders. And when you need it, it will just be recollected and brought to bear in relation to that. So the first thing about technique on what you have to use in order to remember everything you study is to forget about any pre-knowledge that you have about the thing. Forget about it. Start all over again. Be like a juvenile. Be like an amateur person. Don't sound professional. Don't be like I know it all. Don't be like I am Mr. Know It All, Mrs. Know It All. You don't know anything. You do not know anything. So the first way is to pretend as though you don't know. That is the F. Then we come to the A. The A stands for active. Active simply means that being attentive whilst you are studying. That is why I told you when I started with this discussion, I told you to grab a pen and paper. Now, when you grab a pen and paper, you are taking notes. You are asking yourself questions. You are interrogating what you are learning. Then you are asking, how am I going to use what I'm learning? How does this relate to something I know earlier? So once you are interrogating what you are learning, once you are taking key notes, then you will be able to understand well what you are doing. Because when you are studying and you are active, your mind opens up. You see, one of the reasons why you study and you don't understand anything that you study is that you are always going to be inactive whilst you are studying. Most of you are inactive while you are studying. You just take your book and you have done something like this, then you are studying. You take your book, then you are sitting down bored. You take your book and you are not in even a lively environment. You cannot study like that. You cannot study like that. You cannot study like that. So what I want you to know is that you need to understand, you need to be active, you need to be taking notes, you need to be asking a lot of questions. That is the second thing. The third thing is your state. So F, we are not talking about fast. F is forget about everything you know about the subject. A is the activeness. Then S is your state. State simply means your mode of mind, okay, your emotion. Now, according to Jim Quick, information plus emotion equals long-term memory. Information plus emotion equals long-term memory. What does that mean? It means anything you study with your emotion, anything you study with all your heart, any experience you have which affects your emotion, you never forget it. Now I'm going to use a very weird example, but it will drive my point home. You know why when people have experiences, like when people experience armed robbery, when people are robbed, when people are raped, when people are harassed sexually, or when people have a bad experience, you know why they never forget it? Because the emotion which is mixing with the information from the experience becomes a long-term memory. So what is your emotion when you are studying? What is your mindset when you are studying? A lot of you, when you are studying, you are thinking about something else. When you are studying, your data is on, messages are coming in. When you are studying, you are thinking about the prices of goods and services. When you are studying, you are thinking about something you have to do. No, whilst you are studying, you must have a unanimous, you must have a single focus. Your state of being, your state of mind must be focused on what you are studying. Because if you don't do that, then you are setting yourself up again for failure. Okay, so you've got to deal with your emotions, you've got to deal with your thoughts, you've got to deal with the message that goes on in your emotion. So maybe you're thinking about the prices of goods, maybe you're thinking about how you can pay your examination fee, you are thinking about what you want to eat tomorrow, you are thinking about how to pay your children's school fees, you are thinking about your money sickness. Now, if you are thinking about all of those things and you are behind a book, forget it. You are just entertaining yourself. You are actually wasting your time. It's not going to happen. It's never gonna, you're not gonna understand, because your emotion is different from the information that you are having. But if you have the right emotion mixed with the information, you're going to have a long-term memory. So if you want to remember everything that you have studied, you want to remember everything that you have focused on, you want to recollect everything that you have experienced, so that in the exam hall you don't have to freak out, in the exam hall you don't have to be chewing your pen, then as quick as possible, anytime you are studying, have the right mindset. That's all. Have the right state of being. Have the right emotion. That is it. That is it. So forget everything you know about what you are studying. Number 2, be active when you are studying. Take notes. Okay? Take notes. Sometimes I tell people, when you are studying reading subjects, read all the things and then maybe close the book and say it out loud. You are alone, say it out loud. So you say it out loud, you say it out loud, or you grab your notepad and then you are just writing. Try to recollect. When you do that, you are active, you are engaging, and your mind will say that this information coming is important. Let's keep it in a place where it can easily be recollected. You see, it is stated that there is nothing that you have forgotten, only that there is a disorganized in your mind. All the information that you have collected all your life, it's in your mind, it's in your brain. Just that they are disorganized in various folders. That is why you think you cannot remember. But you realize that, funny enough, sometimes in the exam hall, you want to remember something you don't remember. But when you finish with the exams and you come home, maybe you have relaxed, you finish bathing, and you're just there lying down, then all of a sudden, the answer comes. Then you're like, how couldn't I recollect this thing when I needed it? It's because now you have bathed, now you have relaxed, there is no pressure on you, you are not under any tension, you are not in haste, so your mind can arrange things very well. That is a trick. That is how your mind works. So if you don't want to freak out in the exam hall, if you don't want to be chewing your pen in the exam hall, if you don't want to be chewing your teeth and your nails in the exam hall, if you don't want to be getting up every 2 minutes to go and urinate, even though you don't want to urinate, then you've got to have the right state of mind when you're studying. It's critical. It's critical. So F, forget about everything you know about the subject. A, be active, take notes, engage, ask questions, find out how you can utilize what you are learning. Then S, have the right state of mind, have the right emotion, have the right balance, because information plus emotion is equal to long-term memory. Information plus emotion equals long-term memory. Then the last one is T. T stands for teach. Teach. What does that mean? It simply means study as though you are going to teach somebody, period. Now, I know you are not going to be a teacher. You don't like to be a teacher. You don't want to teach. But when you are studying, tell your mind that I am going to teach somebody this thing. You see, when you are studying something and you know you are going to teach somebody, or when you are preparing for a presentation, there is a different way you approach what you are studying, because you are careful about details. You don't want people to ask you questions and you can't answer the question. So you do a whole lot of research. You arrange the way you want to say the thing. You are very precise about what you want to say. You summarize your key points. You have your things there. So when you study as though you are going to teach somebody what you are studying, the things take very much, because the people who are more brilliant are people who teach others what they have studied. Now, as I said, you may not teach anybody in your entire life, but when you are studying, tell your mind, behave as though you are going to teach somebody. And that's the best way to study. That's the best way to study. If you study as though you are going to teach somebody, then that is how you become successful. That is how you are able to learn. So FAST, forget about everything you know on the subject. Be active whilst you are studying. Have the right state of mind, and also study as though you are going to teach it. If you can apply these 4 basic principles by Jim Quick, you will increase your chances of passing the exams. You will be able to recollect everything as and when you need it. Because when I'm teaching, I teach, and that is it. Like, I'm teaching FR, I'm teaching CR. I can go through all standards and I don't refer to book. Why? Because when I'm learning, I know I'm going to be teaching, so I'm precise about it. I arrange, I rehearse, I sit down. Sometimes to prepare for a 2-hour class or a 3-hour class, I can use like 10 hours, 20 hours to re-prepare for what I'm going to teach in 2 hours or in 3 hours. I can use like 24 hours, sometimes I can use like 40 hours, because I need to research, find out about the thoughts that other people have had, so I can arrange how I will teach the thing so people will understand it. So if you want to increase your chances of passing the examination, if you want to be able to remember everything that you've studied, then when you are studying, forget about everything you know on the subject. Be active anytime you are studying. Don't be reading and be listening to music. It's not everybody that works with that. Don't be learning and have your work data on and be replying to messages. It's not learning. It's called entertainment. It's called leisure. It's called fun. It's called wasting time. It's called preparing yourself for failure. Don't do that. Don't do that. Be active, engage, ask questions, interrogate what you are learning. Interrogate. Why is this thing like this? Why didn't they do it like this? Why is this standard like this? Why is this statement like this? What other way can I do it? Once you are interrogating what you are studying, it sticks faster. Then your emotions, very, very important. You need to have the right emotions to be able to increase your chances of passing the examination. Then the final thing is that you study as though you are going to teach somebody what you are studying. This is what you have to understand about how to learn and understand everything you study. How to learn and understand everything you study and recollect everything. So that is what you need to understand about that. I think I have some questions in my chat box. Let me look at those questions quickly. So Bernard Peho, how to distinguish an adjusting event from an unadjusting event? Okay, an adjusting event is simply an event that occurs that has an effect on a balance outstanding as at the reporting date. What does that mean? It means that an adjusting event is any event that is that has connection with a balance in the balance sheet or in the statement of financial position or in the financial statement as at the year ended. Okay, that's an adjusting event. A non-adjusting event is an event that does not have any connection with the balance at the year end. For instance, provision for bad debt. Maybe at the end of the year, we did provision for bad debt for 5%. But after the year end, 1 month after, a customer was declared bankrupt. What it means is that the bankruptcy of that customer becomes an adjusting event, because it means now we have to increase our provision for bad debt. So that is an adjusting event. But when you are dealing with adjusting and non-adjusting events, there are some events that may look like non-adjusting events because they don't have any connection with the financial statements, but they may have a going concern effect. In other words, those events may affect the company. For instance, when fire guards our factory, that is a non-adjusting event. When a natural disaster occurs and something happened, in context, it is a non-adjusting event because that doesn't have any relation with the balance at the end of the year. It will affect the next accounting year. However, when fire guards our factory or something happens and our factory is no more and we don't have an insurance policy to cover the factory, that means that, and that is the only factory we have, then it is likely that it is going to affect our going concern. So on a face value, you will say the event is non-adjusting, but if the event will affect our going concern, then it will become what? An adjusting event. So you've got to make sure you understand that. Then the second question, tax charge, the issue of over and under provision of tax. Now, over provision and under provision of tax occurs because of the fact that tax is paid 1 year in advance. What do we mean by that? For instance, year X1 tax will be paid in year X2. So this is what happens. Maybe this year we made a provision for tax, say $3,000. Then because that is the tax we think we will pay. But when the tax authority comes, they will prepare the tax profit or taxable profit, because they will disallow some expenses and all that things. Then they will say we should pay a tax of 3,500. Remember, we made a provision of 3,000, but now we are paying 3,500. So that extra 500 becomes what we call under provision of tax. Now, when there is under provision of tax, it's an expenses. It means it will increase our current year income tax charge. So we add it to the current year income tax charge because it is under provision of tax. But the reverse is true. Let's say we made a provision of $5,000. The tax authority comes and say we are supposed to pay a tax of $3,000. In that case, we have over provided for tax. For that reason, over provision of tax is like an income to the company, but we don't recognize it as income. We use it to reduce the current year tax payments, the current year tax payment. So that is how we deal with the issue in relation to over and under provision of tax. So Bernard, indicate in the chat box, let me know if that was helpful. Then he also said, I will be glad if you can send me the links to the standards. I can't send you the link to the standards. Just go to my channel, look at the playlist, go to my channel, go to playlist, and you will see accounting standard playlist. Go to the accounting standard playlist and you will see all the accounting standards there. So go to my channel, you check, look at playlist, and then you check the accounting standards, and in that playlist you get access to all the lecture videos on these standards that you have mentioned. I can't copy link and give you here. I don't have the links here, so I can't copy, but just go to the channel page and then get it there in relation to that. Right, so these are what you need to understand. Bernard was asking a couple of questions I've answered. If you are just joining the broadcast, I've been sharing on examination psychology. You are welcome. You're welcome. I've been sharing with you on examination psychology, and I shared 5 mindsets. In case you just joined the broadcast, I shared 5 mindsets that cause people to fail the examination. Number 1 is operation 50%. People think that, oh, the pass mark is 50%, so you can do something and pass the exams. It doesn't work that way in reality. When you set yourself up for that, you are likely to face the exams. Number 2, operation focusing on and answering 3 questions. It doesn't work that way. If you study with that approach, you are setting yourself up again for failure. Number 3, complacency. People think they know the thing already, so they don't have to work hard. If you study with that mindset, you are setting yourself up for failure. And then number 4, operation 1 week show. People don't study, they wait 1 week to the exams, then they start studying. You cannot do that and pass the exams. Then I was shared with you how you can study and understand everything you study and remember everything you study. And I'm sharing with you some quick stops, and that is fast. And the F means forget about everything that you know on the subject and pretend as though you are juvenile, you are now starting out. When you do that, you become curious, your mind open up, and you're able to assimilate the information better. A means be active. When you are studying, when you are listening to my lectures, you are listening to a lecturer, be active. Take notes, ask questions, interrogate what you are learning. Ask yourself, how do I apply this? How does this apply to me? Interrogate it, be active. Then the S is your state of mind, because emotion plus information equals long-term memory. Listen to that carefully. Emotion plus information equals long-term memory. So the kind of emotion that you have when you are behind your book is critical to your understanding of what you are learning. Because if you are thinking about gas prices, you are thinking about paying your children's school fees, you are thinking about you becoming unemployed, you are thinking about the food you want to eat. When you are thinking about things like that, what you are studying, it won't go anywhere. You're just wasting your time, you are having fun. Then the last one is teach, meaning that you study as though you are going to teach somebody. When you study as though you are going to teach somebody, it puts you in that mindset, it puts you in that framework, and you are able to really pay attention to detail, and your mind open up so that you get the detail as and when you are supposed to get the detail. So these are what you need to understand about examination psychology. As I always say, passing the exams is not just about sitting down, opening your book and studying every day. There are various soft skills that goes into passing the exams. And one of those soft skills is self-discipline, which I spoke to you about yesterday, that there is nothing like time management. You cannot manage time because time flies. The time you used to watch this broadcast, you cannot get it back. Rather, you need to discipline yourself on how you have to utilize the time that you have available for you. So that is what you have to understand in relation to that. Then also, examination psychology. Put yourself in the right mindset to avoid you freaking out in the exam, or put yourself in the right mindset in relation to that. So these are what I want to share with you today in relation to your preparation towards the ICAG examination. Today, I think I had some questions from Abena, I had some questions from Bernard also in relation to that. So that is what you need to understand in that case. So I'm going to be ending here today, and God willing, tomorrow we will continue with our discussion, and I'm going to be coming again live to answer any questions that you are having. If you have not subscribed to the channel, make sure you subscribe to my channel. Click on the notification bell so that anytime I go live, you will be notified. You can join me and I can answer all your questions that you're having. Remember, I created this YouTube channel not for any reason but to help you so you can prepare well for your examination. So if you have any questions, drop it in the chat box, drop it in the comment box, and I'm going to be answering all of those questions. If you are watching the playback of this also, put your questions in the comment box. I'm going to be answering all your questions for you so that you can prepare well and pass the examination. Then for those of you who would want to join our executive revision masterclass from the 21st of October to 2nd November, it's coming on, and you can call us on 050-114-9296 or 0548-769918. So 050-114-9296 or 0548-769918. So I just you can call or details about executive revision masterclass, because during the executive revision masterclass you have a revision session with me, you have a one-on-one session with me where I answer your questions. You have access to our mock examination, you have access to our mock discussion session, then you have access to our examination analysis documents, then also you have access to our online study portal where you have access to all of my lecture videos on various topics, on various subjects, so you can prepare well for the examination. So that is what you need to understand about it. In case you are interested, call us 050-114-9296, and then let's see how we can assist you on that intimate, on that personal level, so we can you can prepare well and definitely pass your exams and move ahead with your career. So I'm ending today's broadcast here. We spent about 1 hour 5 minutes, and I'll see you tomorrow, God willing, same time, 4 p.m. And tell your friends about this broadcast. Let them come and subscribe to my channel so that immediately I go live, they will be notified, and let them have their questions on board. Remember, from next week Monday, I will be teaching live on YouTube. Okay, I'll be teaching live here. So I'm going to set my whole place up again and have my board behind me. Then I'll be teaching live on YouTube so that questions that you are asking, I can delve deeper, solve questions, tell you about concepts in relation to that. So I'll see you same time tomorrow as we continue with our discussion.